So here we will see the example of a black box testing. So first of all, we define it with a simple requirement specification for the lock and key system, such as the first one is the serial number. Now next one is the requirement identification. Next is the description, and next one is the priority. So what will be the priority is so this will be the priority. If we say that the first one is the serial number is the one, and the black box requirement, the code is suppose the 01, and the description is insert the key number 1 2 3 4 5 6 and turning it clockwise should facilitating the locking. The priority is high, so this is your requirement. Next one is the serial number 2, then BR number 0, inserting the key number 4 5 6 and turning it anti-clockwise should facilitate the unlocking. Next description could be only key number 1 2 3 4 5 6 can be used to lock and unlock. Next is no other object can be used to lock. No other object can be used to unlock. The lock must not open even when it is hit a heavy project. This is the priority is suppose medium. The lock and key must be made of a metal and must weigh approximately 150 grams. So this is the low priority. So these are your how you are going to perform the you are going to initialize your description of the requirements with the priority. Traceability matrix is as test cases, such as you are going the test you are giving the test case IDs such as lock 001 02. So based on your IDs your testing will be performed. Now next one is a graph based method. So graph based methods are to understand the object that are moduled in the software and the relationship that connect these objects. So in this context, we consider the team objects in the broadest possible context. It encompasses data, objects, traditional components, modules, and object-oriented elements of the computer software. Next one is the equivalent partitioning. So these are the you are going to perform the equivalent partitioning of your condition, such as the data is divided in equivalence partitioning. This is the user queries. You are performing testing on user queries, then mouse picks, output formulas, the prompts, then the inputs and the data. If we take the equivalence partitioning, it is a software testing technique that involves identifying a small set of representative inputs values that produce as many different output conditions as possible. So this reduces the number of permutation and combination of the input output values used for testing, thereby increasing the coverage and reducing the efforts involved in the testing. So the set of the input values that generate one single expected output is called a partition. When the behavior of the software is the same for the set of the values, then the set is termed as the equivalent class or the equivalent partition. If we take the example as the life insurance premium, if we take the example as a life insurance premium, then life insurance company has been premium of suppose some 5,000 for all ages. Based on the age groups, an additional monthly premium has to be paid that is listed in the table, such as if we derive the table as a this is the age group, and next one is the additional premium. We will see it as an additional premium. Then so if for example a person ages 34 has to pay a premium is equal to base premium plus additional premium, that is 5,000 plus suppose 1,500. So it will be equal to how much? It will be equal to 6,500. So if the age is under 35, then it could be 1,500. If the age is in between 35 to 59, then you should have to pay suppose 2,500. If your age is 60 plus, then you should have to pay suppose 15,000. So this is the type of a premium you are going to validate your inputs. If it is below 35 years of age, then it will also gives the valid input. It is in between 35 and 59 also giving the output. Also if the test cases are, if it is above 60, then also it is going to provide the output. If the negative age, this is the invalid input. The age as a 0, invalid input. So this is the equivalent partitioning where you are going to partition your data. Here we divide the data into the different parts such as the age and the premium. Now next one is the sample equivalence classes are valid data, user supplied, commands, responses to system prompts, file name, computational data, physical parameters, bounding values and initiation values, output data formatting, responses to error messages, graphical data such as mouse pics. Invalid data are data outside boundaries of the program. Here I introduce with the lock and key some valid data and invalid data. What are the valid data? That is age for the 35, in between 35 and 59. The invalid data is what? Age is 0, the age is negative, or age is of a 3 digit or 3 digit number. So this is the boundary value analysis where you are going to analyze your values. Now next one is a comparison testing. Use only in situation in which the reliability of the software is absolutely critical. For example, human rated systems such as separate software engineering team develop independent versions of an application using the same specification. Each version can be testing with the same test data to ensure that all provide identical output. Then all versions are executed in parallel with real-time comparison of results to ensure consistency. Next is the orthogonal array testing. It is used when the number of inputs parameter is small and the values that each of the parameter may take are clearly bounded. This is a or we can say it as a boundary value analysis where the data is divided into different values such as if it could be given as the number of the units bought or the price per unit. So most of us would be familiar with the concept of volume discount when we buy the goods. The buy one packet of chips for suppose 15 rupees, but 3 for the suppose it could be 3 for 40 rupees. So it becomes economical for the buyer to buy the bulk. From the seller point of view also, it is economical to sell in bulk because the seller incurs less of the storage and inventory cost and has a better cash flow. So let us consider a hypothetical store that sells certain commodities and efforts or offers that is a different pricing of a people buying in different quantities, that is price in different slabs such as the number of units you are going to pouch, and this is the price per unit. This is the price. So what you are going to see here if the first 10 units that is in between 1 to 10, then the price is of 5 rupees. If next 10 units that is between 11 to 20, then the price is suppose that is 4.7 rupees. Suppose this is 50 rupees, then this will be 470. So this is now next one is if the price is between unit number 21 to 30, then the price will be 450 units. So next one is if it is more than the 30, then the price will be 400 rupees. So here as the quantity is increasing, our price is decreasing. So next one is a model based testing. So analyzing an existing behavioral model for the software or create one, that is recall that a behavioral model indicates how software will respond to external events or stimuli. They traverse the behavioral model and specify the input that will force the software to make the transition from state to state. The inputs will trigger event that will cause the transition to occur. That is, review the behavioral model and note the expected output as a software makes the transition from state to state. So execute the test cases, compare actual and expected result, and take corrective actions as required. Next one is a software testing patterns. So testing patterns are described such as a design pattern. For example, the pattern name we already studied as a pattern name, and those this is what the testing patterns, the name of the pattern, its time, its title, its description, its design. So this already we studied. So this is end of your chapter number 12. Thank you.